Winning shot family. Yo, what's going on? What's the word? It is the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday, February the 10th, 2025. And we are here this evening. My name is John. I got Hundo. I got Collin with me. We are the Winning Shot Podcast. We're coming to you all live tonight to discuss our thoughts on last night's belt game of a Super Bowl that we were able to watch last evening versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Excuse me, the world champion, Super Bowl winning, Super Bowl champion, Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs. As we saw last evening, fellas, first of all, how y'all doing? How was the weekend? And are y'all excited for this upcoming week?
Man, my weekend was straight, man. I thought I was going to have a more exciting game and I was looking forward to it. But, we'll get into it. I think the Eagles handled business. So it was pretty much a lackluster weekend. So excited to see the basketball coming up.
My weekend was good, man. Spent it with the family. Brother had a birthday, celebrated my grandma's birthday. So that was good on Saturday. And then we had the Super Bowl Sunday. So we'll get into it. But weekend was good. How about you?
More life to the family. Bless them. God bless them with another year of life. Thank God for that. Man, we headed into this weekend of upcoming February 14th of love. Man, happy Valentine's Day in advance to all of you who do all that acknowledge and celebrate. But let's go back because last night it was no love on that football field against with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Hundo, man, we saw this coming and we talked about this last week. We talked about the fact that Philly, that D-line, we're going to be ferocious. We talked about the fact that Patrick, what can he do? Can he get this 3-peat? Is it going to happen? You feel me? We talked about is Saquon going to put the team on his back as he's done the whole playoffs and lead them to victory. We talked about can Jalen Hurts get it done? Because the Philadelphia Eagles have been looking shaky throughout this playoffs before the championship game. They looked kind of shaky throughout before then. So could they get it done? And last night we had questions that were answered. And they were answered convincingly with a big win, 40-20, 22. Was it 22 or 24? I think it was 22. To the Eagles just smacking the Kansas City Chiefs. So let's dive right into it, brothers. Let's get these numbers up because I love to look at these numbers. And the numbers are going to show you, they should show you a one-sided matchup because I personally believe that the 22 points that the Kansas City Chiefs were scored, they were garbage time points. So as we saw in the first 3 quarters, it was just dominance. Pure dominance from Philly. Any score, once again, like I said, was 40-22. Patrick Mahomes, 21 for 32 with 257 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Patrick Mahomes also led the team in rushing. That shows you a lot right there. We're going to talk about it. Xavier Worthy, 8 catches, 157 yards, and 2 garbage touchdowns. And I call them garbage touchdowns because, once again, they get scored like the fourth quarter. But once again, we'll talk about it a little bit here in a second. Jalen Hurts, Mr. MVP of the Super Bowl, went for 17 for 22 efficiently, 222 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. Jalen Hurts also led the team in rushing with 11 carries for 72 yards and another touchdown for 3 total touchdowns. Saquon had 25 carries for 57 yards, no touchdowns. Mr. Devonta Smith, 4 catches, 69 yards, and a touchdown. And Mr. A.J. Read-a-Book Brown, 3 catches, 43 yards, and another touchdown. Fellas, talk to me how y'all felt about this Super Bowl winning matchup performance by Philly and this utter letdown of a showing of a Super Bowl performance from the Kansas City Chiefs. Collin, we'll start with you, brother.
Man, I definitely was not expecting this. I had Kansas City winning the Super Bowl for sure. I thought Pat was going to come through. But after the second drive, man, I knew that this was going to be a lopsided performance. I thought it was going to have to take some magic for them to, keep going. But obviously, Pat threw them 2 picks. And honestly, Pat had a bad game, but I think what was worse was that offensive line. And I think if anybody needed to get that Super Bowl MVP outside of Jalen, it was Vic Fangio because that was the greatest defensive performance I've seen since their Broncos Super Bowl, honestly. Just the way that he was able to rush forward. And the fact that he was able to rush forward, they could stay in zone. And so Pat had nowhere to throw the ball. They were going 3 and out. And they didn't even blitz anybody. And Nolan Smith and I think Josh Sweat on the other side was just getting to the quarterback at will. So obviously we know that Kansas City is going to have to make some adjustments to the offensive line, but also too, I think they need to make a real decision of what they're going to do on the outside at receiver, because I don't think anybody feared like a deep threat or anybody on the outside, so it allowed them to kind of mask some things in their defense that I think confused Pat at the end of the day. We'll see what happens with Travis Kelce. Obviously didn't have his best performance, but it just felt like, man, this was two different leagues. I was like, man, Kansas City, what was going on all year? And, Philadelphia really like came to play. Like, I can't even knock Jalen Hurts anymore because, he balled. They stopped Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts. Man, he was throwing dots out there. And I was like, man, he stepped up. So, man, props to the Eagles, man. They deserve it for sure.
Yeah, like Collin said, man, that Eagles front four really don't even have to mention front seven. Front four, they got it done. Pressured Mahomes all night, took him off his spots. I think the boys had one first down the whole first half, and that was the first play of the game when they got the first down on the first drive. So, yeah, dominance on both ends. Like Collin said, Jalen Hurts showed up because Saquon couldn't get going, and they bottled up Saquon. And Hurts made good throws outside of that pick that he threw. Should have just threw the ball away, but outside of that pick, he played good. They had a good game plan, stuck to it, didn't fold. Now, on the other hand, the Chiefs, you got to look at the coaching too as a part of it. Yes, the offensive line was bad. Yes, Pat was bad, but like they didn't make any adjustments. Like you got to try to do something, try to switch it up some way somehow. And they just never did it and got themselves in a hole. Like you said, a lot of garbage time touchdowns. Xavier Worthy late in the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter scoring again. So, yeah, shout out to the Eagles, man. I had them boys winning it in the little bracket we did. So, yeah, shout out to the Eagles.
Yeah, man. Like you said, man, I think the game plan for the Chiefs coming in was to stop Saquon, and I think they were successful doing that. And I think that they were like, well, Jalen Hurts got to beat us. I don't think they had the confidence that Jalen Hurts could beat them. And
I don't know why, because the man balled against them the last time he played too.
I agree.
That man showed up in big games.
However, as we've been talking about this whole time, Saquon was the world beater. I mean, you had to stop him to have a chance. You know what I'm saying? And so I think they kind of over prepared for that and less prepared for, I guess they had a lot of faith in that secondary to hold down Devonta Smith and AJ. And once again, I don't think they had faith in Jalen Hurts to beat them by itself, right? Essentially. It's essentially take away your best weapon and you got to get the ball out to whatever, right? I think they're expecting dominance from Christian Jones again, dominance from that D-line to kind of get to the quarterback and kind of force him off his pivot and kind of have them aerial throws like he had with that pick that he threw. I think they were expecting a lot more of that and a lot less of what they got. So I think that played a big role into their detriment, and that belt that they got was what they expected to not happen. So shout out Jalen Hurts, man. Black History Month.
Yeah, I don't even think that like Kansas City didn't think that Jalen Hurts was good. I feel like it was just the lesser of two evils. Like John said, they had seen Saquon what he was doing in the postseason. They just thought that if we have to lose this game, it was going to be by Jalen Hurts. And honestly, man, I don't know if your boys thought this, but like, man, from the coin toss, man, watching Jordan Mailata versus them other dudes, I'm like, he's towering over these guys. And I feel like the Eagles were just bigger. Like, no cap, in the trenches on the offense and defensive line. Like, I think Kansas City trusted their front four that they were going to get a Jalen Hurts, and they couldn't. And the Eagles had their way on both sides, and I think the trenches won last night on both sides. So ain't really much to say, honestly.
Nah.
They had put up a graphic during the game of Philly offensive line. It was like the average size was like 6'6", 300. I was like, oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, monsters. The monsters on that line. It's like, oh my goodness. Yeah, man, like you said, it's not too much to say on this game, brothers. I mean, we saw it. Shout out to Philly. Now we get ready to head into this offseason. And kind of just want to talk about, what's next for these two teams as we kind of enter into this offseason. Obviously, you have to look at these two teams as the best two teams because they were the last two left, I would think. And if you don't, I mean, that's cool too. We can have that discussion. But just looking at some free agents that, Adam Schefter talked about today for the Chiefs, for one, they're losing, free agent upcoming is Trey Smith, Nick Bolton, Justin Reed, Hollywood Brown, D-Hop, Chris Amanu, Tershawn Wharton, Kareem Hunt, Juju Smith-Schuster, Justin Watson, McCole Hardman, DJ Humphries, Mike Pennell, Samaje Perine, Josh Usay, Derek Nottie, the long snapper, and Carson Wentz. That one's irrelevant. But just naming some guys that they could be losing. Now, of course, they still have a good, I think, nucleus left, but there's also still some up in the air. They don't know if Travis Kelce may retire. That may be another big loss for them potentially this upcoming offseason. So it's could be a big offseason for the Chiefs, and one that they necessarily haven't seen, being that they've been the two-time world champs the past 2 years. So do y'all think that this loss yesterday changes the minds of fans and us as onlookers of the NFL going into this next season? And do y'all think that they have some opportunity to bring in people in this free agency coming up here and starting in March?
Yeah, I think a lot of decisions have to be made out of that list you just named. I think the priority is Nick Bolton. You got to re-sign him. I think he's the anchor on that defense. Whatever he's asking for, I think he'll get top of the line price. And honestly, after last night, I think Kevin Zeitler from Minnesota is a free agent. I would go get him. But I think you have to go make a call to Kansas City. I mean, not Kansas City, but San Francisco to see what Debo is worth. Because I think you either need a Debo or a Cooper Kupp. Not saying that they're the answer, but you're going to need a formidable, guy on the outside. And I just don't think they have that right now. Like Xavier is obviously, progressing. Rashee Rice will be back, but there's nobody I don't think the cornerbacks feared on the outside. And I just feel like you need a guy that can get you over the top or even get you a lot of possessions that somebody fears to kind of change up the defense, because I don't think Pat had enough help. So that's on the offensive end. Obviously, on the defensive end, once you get Nick Bolton, you got a lot of guys on the defensive line that you still got to pay. So I don't know. I think a lot of those answers can be had in the draft. Get some good young talent, but I think really the offense needs to be priority, honestly.
I agree. That line was injured a lot this season. I think they lost. That's why they wound up signing DJ Humphries late in the season, because they couldn't keep a left tackle on the field. I don't know if they're going to re-sign Trey Smith. I think, like you said, that may be a draft fill from that guard position for them. Like you said, there will be some free agent guards that could be out there potentially wanting to come to the Chiefs. So that may be something. I think he's very solid as a guard. Don't get me wrong. I think if he doesn't come back, somebody's going to definitely quickly pay him and bring him in. But I don't know if that's something else that they do. And like I said, they got a lot of. They're going to have a big problem if Travis Kelce decided to come back. Now, some people are going to say, well, he didn't make that much of an impact this season in comparison to like the overall scheme of things, but it's still Travis Kelce at the end of the day. I mean, he's going to go down as probably the greatest tight end to play the game. So, I mean, if he does retire, and it's up in the air, like I said, it's not a yes or no at this current moment, but if he does decide to retire, that's Patrick Mahomes' best friend. So it's like, how can he cohabitate or live without Travis next year if that is to be the case? So something else just to consider. Hundo, my bad, brother. You meant to take over his spot.
No, you good. But I think, like, going off what y'all are saying, with championship teams, we see them losing pieces constantly throughout different sports.
Yeah.
Look at WNBA with the Aces, blew up the team, losing stars. You're going to see it with the Chiefs. I think that a lot of those names that you listed off, though, John, are replaceable. I don't know what their cap space situation is moving into the offseason, but if they have some money, they could definitely go out and get some guys in free agency, or, like Collin said, go out there and make a trade to go get a guy. I do think that having Rashee Rice back healthy will help them on the outside. I don't think they necessarily have to go get somebody like a Debo or like a Cooper Kupp. I think if Rashee Rice is back healthy, you got Hollywood playing in his normal, well, not Hollywood, Xavier Worthy playing in his normal role at receiver. I think that'll help it out a lot. And if, like you said, they get Travis Kelce back, that'll definitely help as well. So definitely go get another offensive lineman, maybe an upgrade at running back position, because we saw Pacheco when he came back, he wasn't really doing much of anything if they do lose Kareem Hunt. So, yeah, I think they'll be fine. They still got Pat. So we'll see how that is.
Yeah, that's true. And then flipping it over, man, to Philly, they got some key offensive and defensive guys that I think that they're going to need to sign back. So Adam Schefter once again said that their offseason key key free agents are going to be Zach Bond, who I think they definitely need to sign back, Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Brandon Graham, Mekhi Becton, Fred Johnson, Avonte Maddox, their long snapper, Rick Levanto, Kenneth Gainwell, Oren Burks, CJ Uzama, Jack Driscoll, Nick Gates, and LaRaven Clark. So, I mean, like I said, I think that they already have a good nucleus of guys. I think Howie Roseman, as the GM, has done a great job when it not only comes to drafting, but also getting players and trades and stuff like that as well. So I think they already have a good nucleus. Of course, with first, like you mentioned, the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, he'll be back. Saquon will be back. A.J. Brown will be back. Devonta Smith will be back. That line, most of them come back besides Mekhi Becton unless they sign him back, which I think they can sign him back relatively cheap. D-line, I mean, you got Jordan Davis still young. You still got, what's my boy name? Jalen Carter still young. They got them DBs now, Quentin Mitchell, and the other young man, Mr. Cooper DeJean. He's still there. They still got Reed Blankenship. I think Isaiah Rodgers still on the roster, and I know he's like a secondary guy. They still got Big Play Slay out there. I mean, so their secondary and everything is kind of still solidified. So I think their main pieces, once again, comes in with that linebacking core, which has been played a big part for them in this season and the postseason. So Zach Bond needs to get signed again. So what y'all fellas thinking with their offseason?
Man, just like you said, bro, I think Howie Roseman is one of the best GMs in football. The fact that on every level of their defense, they have a young, promising talent. And like that defensive line you just named, all of them on their rookie contracts. So honestly, because you have everybody signed on your offense, like Saquon, AJ, Vonta, I don't know if Dallas got our Grimmer back. Pretty sure he is.
I think he's replaceable, but that's another story.
Honestly, I call Cleveland and I said, "What do you want from Myles Garrett?" And I go get him. And I wouldn't re-sign Josh Sweat. I let him walk in free agency. And I obviously would sign Zach Bond, but I think Myles Garrett is going to shore up anything the rest of those free agents will, that you're going to lose. Because I think you need to strike while the iron's hot. Because we don't obviously Saquon's going to be performing at a high level for a while, but we don't know prime Saquon years got left. And obviously Jalen Hurts showed he can win the game, so there's no problem at quarterback. And your offense seems to be short. Offensive line, you got Landon Dickerson is probably going to move over to center. Don't know what they're going to do with Juergens. You still got Mailata. You can find a guard. I don't know if you re-sign Becton, but it seems like the offense has answers. So defense, I would go take a swing. If you can't get anything from Cleveland, I would call Dallas and see if you can get Micah Parsons. Worst comes to worst, I would probably go to Las Vegas and see what Max Krause's price is. But I think you got money to spend now, so I would take a big swing.
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't even thinking about that, but those would be some home run hits if they could go out and get one of those three guys that you mentioned. That would be crazy,
insane,
especially coming off a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
That would be crazy. But I do think they got to re-sign Bond, for sure at linebacker. But yeah, I think they're in a good spot. Like y'all said, Howie Roseman been building the team through the draft and through free agency, getting those right guys in their system to come in and fill gaps. So I think they'll be fine, and we'll see what they do next year.
Yeah. And speaking as we move on into this offseason and into this next year, man, I know we've been talking about, what teams we think can continue this reign, right? And when I say reign, like what teams can be top next year again? Is it going to be the same teams? Are we going to have, y'all think, teams come up in this draft and kind of flip things as we've seen with Houston done in the past couple of years, or even Detroit's been done in the past 5 years? I think there can be teams that are sorry now, they're F- now, that can really make that flip to kind of flip, maybe be a playoff team. And I'm not saying Super Bowl contenders like Detroit did, but like can flip things kind of like a Houston did, maybe become a consistent playoff team now, even through the draft or through free agency. I think that can be done. And give me y'all let's go top 5 teams going into next season.
So we're doing top 5 with teams that we think are sorry they can get.
I want your top 5 for next season, but I want to first ask y'all, do y'all think that any of the sorry teams now, I know we kind of talked about this earlier in an earlier pod, but do y'all think any of the sorry teams now could maybe do a flip and turn into a consistent playoff team? Mm-hmm. So when I say sorry teams, Jacksonville, I'm just thinking New York, top 5 teams in this upcoming draft. Any of them, Cleveland, do y'all think any of them could make a flip with free agency and the draft upcoming to become a playoff team or a consistent playoff team in the coming years?
Yeah. Shoot, I don't know if we're gonna see anything like the Commanders, because I feel like the Commanders hit on the quarterback and their division was sorry outside of the Eagles, of course. But I mean, I think a team like the Raiders can go from being very sorry. Hopefully Shador pans out if they get Shador, to being a consistent, 7-8 win team and potentially, sneaking into the playoffs maybe. Because I feel like Pete Carroll is not a terrible coach, and I just feel like, he is at least going to bring stability to that organization. The only bad thing about the Raiders is that they're in the AFC West, so I think it's going to be hard to get some wins out of there. Yeah, I don't know about any other team. Maybe the Patriots, but the Patriots have a lot of roster work to do. So I know Ray was a good coach, but this might be a 2 to 3 year outlook rather than next year. That's really all I got in terms of sorry teams.
Maybe the Bears. I mean, they already got their quarterback. They got receivers. They shore up that offensive line. They invested in the defense already this past offseason. So if they can get offensive linemen and Ben Johnson get the offense clicking and rolling how it needs to be, maybe them. But to Colin's point about the AFC West, I mean, shoot, the Bears in the NFC North, and 3 teams in front of them had 11 plus wins this past season. So it's gonna be tough.
Yeah,
I agree, but I think Chicago's the only one that can do it. I think the rest of the F- teams stay F-. I don't think any of them get better. I'm gonna keep it a band. A lot of those teams that we named are just sorry, piss poor organizations, and we got to keep it a stack about that. And I don't foresee them boys getting any better, even with the draft and the offseason. They've had the same offseason and draft for the past 5 to 7 years, and they've done nothing with it. So I think, and as we're seeing, that's why these stars are wanting these trades. That's why Myles Garrett wants out. That's why Max Crosby wants out. That's why Debo trying to get out of San Fran. I mean, San Fran's been winning, but time comes. It's just like, bro, I want to win. I want to be a winner in life. So it's like, I'm not doing it with these sorry teams. So I don't know. It's gonna be real interesting. So with that, man, what's your top 5 teams going into this next upcoming season?
It
don't have to be in order. It don't have to be in order. Just give me a top 5 teams.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm gonna say Eagles.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Ravens.
Okay.
Buffalo got to do something with that defense. So if they get some defense, I'll say Buffalo. Washington.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Chiefs. I'll go Chiefs.
Okay.
That would be my top 5.
Okay.
So I think it would be pretty similar to what it was this year.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna actually go. I'm like Hundo. I'm gonna put Eagles 1. They're gonna have to get beat for me to say anything about them. I'm gonna actually put the Bills number 2. I think Josh Allen is gonna continue his performance, and I think the Bills are actually gonna make a trade this offseason. They'll get a receiver that they're gonna be just as good they were this past year. Put the Ravens 3. Got a lot to prove. Enough said there. I'm actually put the Lions 4, because I feel like we're gonna see what Jared Goff looks like with his new coordinator. But there's been a lot of talk of the same way I said the Eagles should make some trades. I think the Lions gonna make some trades this offseason too. And get Hutch back with that defense. And I've been debating whether to put the Chiefs at 5. Yeah, I'm gonna stay with the Chiefs at 5. I think like Andy's coming back, regardless of what happens to Kelsey. I think them boys gonna be still tough. Like, you got Pat and you still got a defense. I think everybody's gonna have a bad taste in their mouth. I don't think there's really gonna be a Super Bowl hangover with the Chiefs. They great organization. So yeah, I put them at 5.
Yeah, I like that. I like y'all list, brothers. I got Philly on my list as well, for sure. I mean, you can't get this one Super Bowl, so I think they'll continue to be great. I'm gonna go. My list is in no order. I'm gonna just give you top 5. I'm gonna give you 5 teams. I'm intrigued to see what Detroit looks like coming back from losing both their coordinators. I think that's the only thing I'm like, they got the players. Clearly, they still got Gibbs, still got Montgomery, still got St. Brown, still got Penei Sewell, and like you said, Hutch coming back. I think that they're gonna make a splash in either free agency or a trade. for a defensive. If they get a defensive end, you talked about the Eagles going to get Myles Garrett. What if the Detroit Lions go get Myles Garrett?
Yeah.
Call God. Yeah. So I'm gonna put Detroit on that list as well. And like I said, yeah, we'll just stick there. I'm gonna put Detroit, Philly. I'm gonna go Baltimore. We gotta make some offseason moves. We gotta do something. We gotta draft well. I got faith in EDC to draft well, as he usually does, and he gotta make some free agency moves as well. I'm gonna go. I've been debating about the Chiefs, man. I really have because I mean, like you said, Pat's still there, so you can't ever count them out. But I got to see what this Austin looks like for them. And then I'm like, last night I was like, that showed me something. Now I told y'all all season, I think the Chiefs were just on the verge of losing all season. And last night it finally happened. They just had too many close games this entire season. And I'm like, are teams starting to like not fear the Chiefs anymore? And that's how I felt this season, personally. I feel like teams were like, usually when teams play the Chiefs, they play them scared. In my personal opinion, they just got blown out. A lot of teams did. But a lot of teams this year played them close. A lot of teams did. And so, I don't know. I'm on the fence about them. But I'm going to put them in my top 5 because, I mean, they're still in the AFC. And they're still the cream of the crop as the AFC current champions. 5. That 5 spot is tough, man. I'm gonna go with the young bull, though. I'm going to go Washington. I like what the Commanders got, the nucleus, and I think they got the money to pay people this offseason. So I think that helps them, draft and free agency wise. Right now, if I got the bread and I say you can go play with Jaden Daniels, who's hooping, based off that one season, I think people are gonna live off that recency. You know what I'm saying? People are gonna live off that "what have you done for me lately" vibe, and so I think that draws in some free agency and potential. Once again, if I get Myles Garrett in a trade to Washington, man, you know what I'm saying, or like Max Crosby or whoever, like you said, I think that they have the capital and the team to bring those kind of players in. So I'm gonna go Washington at 5.
And similar to what you said, John, we saw that same thing with the Texans.
Yeah.
They was able to bring in Joe Mixon. They was able to bring in Diggs. They was able to bring in Danielle Hunter off of CJ Stroud, and the Texans' good first season. So
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. My only question with the Bills, like y'all mentioned going to get another receiver, but like, is Amari Cooper coming back? Like, do y'all think he could be a viable option if he is the comeback for the Bills?
I think Amari Cooper is great as a receiver, but I don't know if we're getting star Amari Cooper anymore. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know. Even this year, like when he got traded to the Buffalo Bills, like nobody was like, "Ooh, this is moving the needle." In my personal opinion, I could be wrong on that, but when they traded for him, I don't think nobody was like, "Oh, this is a needle mover for them." And when he got there, like I mean, he was playing all right, but like he wasn't like dominant. You know what I'm saying? Even in his early Cleveland days, like he was still like he was still Amari Cooper. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if this Amari Cooper and going forward, Amari Cooper is going to be like one that Collin mentioned is going to be that player for Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? To be that number 1 guy. So
I just don't know what it was with it. Like was it the system or is it actually just him just losing talent? Like I don't think he's a bad receiver. Like I think he can still go out there and get 1,000 yards and be top 10, top 15 type receiver. But it just never showed.
Yeah.
When he got traded to Buffalo. So
I mean, I just feel like it's about the system too, because I think he thrives with a quarterback like Dak, because Dak stays in the pocket. But like Josh Allen, we know after 3 seconds he's scrambling. So I feel like Josh will function with a wide receiver who's not only good at route running, but more so good at being off script. Because I feel like that's where a lot of the garbage yards will come from. And Josh obviously loves down the field threats because Josh will throw it up. And so I just feel like Amari Cooper just didn't fit with the system. Like, not saying he's a bad receiver, I just think he needs to go somewhere where he can find a good quarterback and run his routes, and get 1,000 yards. I still think he's 1,000 yards receiver, but I just don't think he's the right system.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Collin. I think, like I said, the system just didn't necessarily fit to what he needed to be. And I mean, that's just not what it's not just who the Bills were this year. I think they shifted away from that when they got rid of Stephon Diggs. They had that, I'm gonna go get that one wide receiver. But this year, Josh showed that he works better when he has like multiple dudes to throw to versus having to single out one guy. So I don't know if that's ever gonna be something they even go back to. I think that's kind of more of Amari's game, like being that guy. And in Buffalo, I don't think it's gonna happen going forward. So.
Low key, I like the move with Debo if they can get something good for him. Like obviously, I don't think he should give up first, but if they can give up a 2, maybe a 3 for him, depending on obviously the market, I think that would be a good pickup because I feel like if they use him like they did in San Francisco, you would have 3 running backs, right? You have Josh Allen, James Cook, and you can send Debo in motion and it opens up your offense, right? The defense have to respect it. So yeah, I like that move. We'll see, but they need a guy like that who can add another dimension.
Agreed. And like Hundo mentioned earlier, they got to work on that defense as well. I'm still not sold on that defense. I mean, I'm gonna say it again, and I mean this very respectfully, bro. I mean, Micah Hyde just retired on the defense side of the ball, and that leaves you with a leading DeMar Hamlin, leading your secondary right now. And I just got to be honest, bro. DeMar Hamlin's not leading that secondary, bro. We got to keep it a stack. They're gonna need something else back in that secondary, either corner or another safety for real. And I'm being serious. I'm not even trying to joke on buddy, nothing like that. Like they're gonna need somebody else in that secondary to help the boys out.
Hey, you got a real hate for that man, DeMar Hamlin.
No, it's no hate. It's no hate, bro. It's just.
And DeMar caused the fumble on Lamar. Or am I tripping?
I mean, yeah, bro, but
he making plays.
Okay, once again, bro, here's the thing. Like, you're not listening to me. He cannot be the leader on that secondary. That's all that I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying, like, buddy, sorry. I'm like, he just can't.
Nah, you saying buddy sorry. Yeah, you saying buddy sorry, bro. You definitely saying buddy sorry.
Well, he just can't be the leader. And y'all agree with me, though. Can y'all? All right, maybe if y'all don't agree with me, let me know. But I just don't think he's the leader on that. He can't be the leader in that secondary, bro. He can't be.
I don't think you got to kill that man career off like that, man.
I did. I just said he can't be the leader on that secondary. That's all I said.
You basically saying he's not a starting caliber safety in the league.
I'm just saying he cannot be the leader on that secondary. You look at like some of the best secondaries in the league.
Is he a starter in the league?
Huh?
Is he a starter in the league?
He's a starter in Buffalo. Bro, okay. I'm gonna keep it a bad. If he came to Baltimore, he's not starting.
Who's your other safety?
Cal Hamilton and Ardarius Washington.
Oh, I don't know.
I ain't watched much of Ardarius talk, so I can't.
I mean, that's fine, but I mean, I guarantee he's not coming to Baltimore and starting. He's not going to Kansas City and starting. He's not going to Philly and starting. Like, we naming these top teams. He's not going to Detroit and starting. Like, he works in Buffalo. He'll work in Cincinnati, like where your secondaries are sorry. Like, he's not going to like a solid secondary and being the leader. Nobody's asking him to be the leader of secondary. That's all I'm saying. In Buffalo, I don't think he needs to be the leader of the secondary. That's all that I'm saying.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of teams, though, like, I mean, obviously every team is not as good as the Eagles and even like the Ravens when it comes to organization in front office. So a lot of teams picking their holes. And I feel like Buffalo specializes in the trenches. And so, you're going to have to pay Ed Oliver, probably going to pay, I mean, you paying Von Miller, got another guy, I forgot his name. But like the first and second levels is what they really emphasize, having good linebackers, good defensive tackles. And they say, hopefully we can get to the quarterback so we don't have to put a lot of pressure on DeMar. So I think that if the defensive line plays like they did last year, they'll be fine. I don't think DeMar necessarily is calling. They're calling on DeMar to be the leader. They just need somebody who's decent that can cover some space and make some plays. So I don't know. There ain't no other option. Like, they're getting expensive.
I mean, the draft, brother. I think we can find, like we talked about. I think we got replaceable guys on certain positions that like we can fill the voids in the draft or replace guys in the draft.
I don't think that should be a priority for them.
Yeah, not sure.
I mean, no, I'm not saying use your first round pick on a safety, but like you could find a decent third round guy to come in and like take DeMar's job.
Take his spot? Nah, that's crazy, bro.
We find gems in the draft every year.
I don't know about that one, bro.
It's gems in the draft every year. I'm done. It's okay. It's okay, bro. That's all I'm saying.
How you boys feel about San Francisco this year? Like, let's presume like they lose Debo. Like, what do y'all boys think they're still going to be at the bottom of the AFC West? What are they?
NFC West.
NFC West.
Or you think
no, I don't think so. I think a lot of their issues was because of injuries.
I don't trust Brock Purdy still. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. I mean, I think they about to pay him.
I think he showed to be good enough to win at least 10 games. I think if they're healthy, they win a good bit of them games that they lost. It wasn't like they was getting smacked. I don't think.
Before the injury,
I can go back and look. Let's see.
Before the injuries or after? Because they was injured the whole season.
They was injured all year.
Yeah.
They lost to the Rams by 6. They lost to the Lions by 6. They lost to the Seahawks by 3. Lost to the Chiefs by 10. Lost to the Cardinals by 1. Lost to the Rams by 3. So I mean, those are one possession games. A couple of those are one possession games. So
yeah. I mean, it's an F- team, but I think that's another team, John, that can make a run. Like,
for sure. For sure.
That division definitely wide open.
For sure.
I don't think the Rams probably gonna be as good.
Nah, not they get rid of Cooper Kupp.
The Seahawks are gonna be the Seahawks. I think the Cardinals could possibly win a few more games, but they still got to figure out their defense. Really, they got to figure out their defense.
Like, the Cardinals,
bro. The Cardinals not bad, bro. The division wide open, bro.
They're not bad, but they're not good. That's the thing.
Nah, they're not. They're average, bro. Like,
say it with me, F. Like,
I don't know.
Thanks, Marvin Harrison Jr.
John, come on, like,
they were 8 and 9 last year, bro. Like, if they get a few pieces on defense, bro, they'll be fine, bro.
But
to do what, though? I said, right. We got defined to do what?
like make the playoffs, bro. They were only 2 games out from winning that division, bro. Like the division, like I said, the division's wide open.
I don't think it's be wide open when San Fran gets healthy. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I
don't think
they're gonna run away with it. I don't think they're gonna run away with the division. I think the division's still gonna be close again next year.
I think it's gonna be between the Rams and the 49ers, and they're gonna run away quickly.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle and Arizona are up there too, bro. Like, it's gonna be close. I don't think any team will run away with it in that division.
I disagree.
With San Fran being healthy, and if they lose Debo,
we're gonna see, brother. That's all I can say about that. I humbly and respectfully disagree because I've seen San Fran healthy, and I mean, a healthy San Fran was in the NFC Championship with 2-3 straight years.
You just said you don't trust Brock Purdy, though. You literally said that.
I don't. But in that division, a healthy San Fran is running through them. It was Matthew Stafford potentially being done with Cooper Kupp getting ready to be out. I think, yes, the Rams are still going to be good on defense with that young D-line. Seattle, like I said, is always going to be a toss-up, but I don't think that it's going to be a close. You talk about being close.
I think it's going to be close.
And the Cardinals with it being close? Yeah, I definitely don't agree with that.
Who's better, Brock or Collin?
Dang. Why is Sam gonna have that conversation? Dang. Why is dang?
I don't know. I mean, I would probably take Collin just because his ability to run.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Kyler, bro. I mean, like I said, I just personally think that Brock is a system quarterback. Like, I don't think if he went to Arizona, I think Hundo's answer of Arizona being a good or a contending team or close to winning division team goes out the window with Brock Purdy at the starting quarterback of the Arizona versus Kyler Murray going to San Fran. Me personally, so for that reason alone, I'm about to say Kyler.
I'm not debating that, John.
That's a good argument
because they don't have the pieces.
That's what I'm saying. And I think Brock Purdy's success comes because of what San Fran has been able to offer him with CMC. He had Debo. He had Ayuk. He had Kittle. He had that offensive line. Like, I think that's where a lot of his success came from. You throw him in Arizona?
He had DeAndre Hopkins.
Who had DeAndre
Hopkins?
Kyler.
Not this year, he did.
No, I'm talking about didn't the Texans trade him to the Cardinals during DeAndre's prime?
Yeah,
right?
I'm talking about now. I'm talking about if we had Brock Purdy in Arizona right now with just Marvin Harrison Jr., he's going to show you why he was at the last pick in that draft. That's all I'm going to tell you.
I hear you.
That's all I'm saying. So, what you think? What do you say, Collin? Did you give me an answer?
I don't know. Granted, I'm not sold. Like I was a Brock Purdy fan, but after this year, I was kind of like, I don't know if he deserves that 54 million. But I mean, Kyler's not that much better. Like I think they're neck and neck. I might take Kyler just because what Hundo said, his running ability. If I was starting a team, but I mean, I don't think Brock is bad. I think he makes some great decisions, can make every throw. And I don't know. I just feel like in terms of decision making and experience, I would take Brock personally. So I don't know. It's just it's a neck and neck. I was curious.
D-Hop had played 10 games in 2021. They lost in the wild card. The 2 years after that, they only won 4 games.
And that's what I'm saying.
But I think Collin was hurt too.
Yes,
he played 11 games in 2022.
It's easy to get hurt behind that offensive line in Arizona. That's what I'm saying. That's more goes towards my point. If I put Brock in that time span in Arizona, you think it's bad with Kyler? I'm sorry, Buddy can't even run. He just gonna be taking sacks all year. It's gonna get real bad. That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
You benefited from San Fran.
I just don't see the Cardinals organization thriving. So we have seen San Francisco thrive. I just feel like in terms of organizational structure, 49ers are head and shoulders above the Cardinals. And I just don't see them
head and shoulders easily. Easily.
Once they get back healthy, they're gonna be running the division. Then with the Rams.
We gonna see. We gonna see. Ain't no telling what it's gonna look like this offseason too. So we gonna see.
That's true, but I think it's gonna be a big offseason. It's a lot going on. And as y'all kind of talked about in the chat today, I think the NBA has set a crazy, and it's crazy to say that because I think the NFL is better than the NBA right now as an overall brand. But I think with the NBA's trading philosophy this year, I think that may spread over to the NFL this upcoming offseason with all these guys requesting trades and teams saying that they're going to trade their players and key cornerstone guys who've been tight for them, a Cooper Kupp in LA, a Debo in San Fran, Myles Garrett trying to get out of Cleveland. Micah is rumored to be on the block quietly in Dallas. I mean, you got these guys who've been monumental pieces for these teams. I think that this offseason here will be the biggest one yet, right? And then of course, like I said, we got the draft. We got some guys who always got some rookies that's gonna come in and make an immediate impact. I haven't been able to study the film yet, but of course we'll have an episode later on about guys who can come in and make impacts for teams who even contenders or non-contenders. And we'll talk about that. And then free agency that starts next month. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot that's going to be able to get ready to happen in these upcoming months for NFL. So it's going to be very interesting, fellas. It's going to be a very interesting offseason for the NFL. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, we done talked a lot about, the end of this season and pushing towards the end of that, man. And Hundo was talking about the belt earlier that this belt picture taken every time. Hundo that belt taken about every single time. But yeah, man. I mean, that's really it, fellas. I mean, that's the end of the NFL season. This is probably the last that we'll talk about the NFL until we get to free agency next month. So I got a couple weeks of free time to think about that NFL offseason as we get ready to push towards free agency, man. Let's move over briefly. And do you have anything else that y'all, need to discuss or anything like that? I know that, Collin went away for a few minutes, so Hunter, we can talk about this. I'm wearing this Clemson shirt tonight, just briefly. This is going to be a brief piece. Shout out to the Clemson Tigers, man. It is, as we transition a little bit briefly, NBA and college basketball, man. We're heating up and getting to the thick of things, coming to this NCAA season, getting ready to push into March Madness. And then we're getting close to this All-Star break, which is getting close to means it's the midway point, almost the end of the season for the NBA as well.
It's this weekend, right?
Yeah, I think it is this weekend, brother.
All-Star weekend this weekend.
Yeah, so we're pushing. Like I said, they just had their big trade deadline, so we're getting ready to see does Lucas play tonight?
Yeah, 10:30.
Okay. Yeah. We get ready to see that.
If they ain't started already yet.
Okay. So we get ready to see some of that too, brothers. I mean, it's good times out
here.
He
already got hurt.
You know what I'm saying? So it's getting scary. We're gonna do some switching over, man, to to this NBA talk. Yeah, like you said, 10:30, man. We get to see LA versus the Jazz and the Luka debut in LA. So yeah, it's gonna be good, brother. I mean, we ain't got too much else to say, brother. Go Tigers! I do want to say that. Well, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, shout out to Clemson, whatever, man. They
Yeah,
beat Duke. They beat Duke the other day, so yeah. Them boys riding high, beating the Blue Bloods.
Yes, sir.
Beat Duke and North Carolina.
North Carolina. Wow. What a time to be a Clemson Tiger. I tell you, God is the greatest.
I know them boys up right now.
Yes, sir. As they should be. As they should be, man. But yeah, man. I know. Oh, they go Collin right there. All right, I'm done.
How many losses that is now? 11?
11. 14.
Ooh-wee. Oh, man. It's a sad time to be a Carolina fan. That's tough. We'll make a special crash out episode just for Collin because I know he got some more crashing out to do about them boys right there. But man, anything else y'all boys want to say this season, man, before we cut it off for the night?
How many Luka getting tonight?
Ooh, dang! In his debut against the Jazz.
Where they got his props at?
Yeah, what's his over under, Hundo? Let me add.
What's the line?
Let me see. Let me see what the line I'm talking about. Before I see the line, it's the Jazz. I'm gonna say
33 and a half. I'm gonna say it's at 33 and a half. Let's see.
All right, let's see. Luka's current over under, according to FanDuel, is at. Give me 1 second as I log in. Luka Doncic is slated to score. Oh no, that's the wrong thing. Do they have his player points up here? Dang, they got his regular points. I don't think they have his player props. Popular. They don't have his player points.
Consensus line is 26 and a half.
26 and a half?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna smack the over. Just barely though. I'm gonna go like 28.
Yeah, I think he probably on a minutes restriction too, though. So that's gonna be
true.
That's gonna be interesting to see how many minutes he actually playing. But
yeah,
if he played a whole game or played like his normal minutes, I would say over easily.
Yeah, I think he's gonna hit right at. So I think I could see him doing like a 26, 6 and 6, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something like
crazy thing is, this man really hasn't played since Christmas, bro. Like, that's a good little minute.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's
huh?
I said the thing is, he's Luka. Man, I was watching the pregame stuff. Like, there's no way he's 270. Man, that boy looked like he in prime shape.
Nah, thanks.
Yeah, but we also got to think he like 6'7", 6'8" too. So 270 on him might not look like, I guess 270 on somebody smaller, I guess. But we gonna see.
Yeah,
that was about 80 in the injury.
It's only a matter of time.
It's not looking good for Mr. Nico Harrison, man. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
They say he's gonna be out a few weeks at least already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The first game there.
Hopefully he can come back.
That's not a good sign of things to come. Oh my gosh. I'm sure that's not what they had in mind when they traded for him. Like,
and I know AD's been relatively healthy the past like year or so, but I mean that was a problem for him in previous seasons, bro. Like he can't stay. He was getting called street clothes. Yeah, the nickname street clothes because how much he was missing games. Like, it's not looking too good for Nico.
Yeah,
it's not making sense, man. I don't want to say script and conspiracy, but it's just not making sense. We all knew, like the basketball world knew that he was street clothes. Still traded for him, so it's just like, come on.
True. No pity from you. No pity for you at all, man.
Now the real question is, how do y'all feel about the man getting death threats and having the highest security and stuff?
You talking about the owner or the GM?
The GM for the Mavericks.
I mean, Dallas loved Luka, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like, so. I mean, it's the equivalent of like niggas trading LeBron for them. Like Luka was everything in Dallas, everything. So you trade away the entire fan base's like highest guy. What? I don't know what you expected, nigga. What you want? Some roses to your door? No, no. Like, and I think they feel disrespected in the trade. It's like it's not like. I think I was watching been watching a lot of TikToks and videos. Like it's like, bro, AD's great. Don't get me wrong. Like he's cool, but like what they have valued Luka as a fan base is LeBron. So give us Bron back if you're gonna trade Luka. You gave us AD back. Like we don't want that. We don't want that toy anymore. Like give me something I can use. And then for him to get hurt in the first game, yeah, they were sick. Now he was dominant before he got hurt, but. Yeah, nah, they not going for that. They're not going for that at all.
Yeah, and like we got to be honest, it's not right, but this is also professional sports. I'm pretty sure Mark Andrews got death threats because of the drop. Like we know some people are just stupid and make dumb decisions, right? Okay. And now like people are directly tied to these organizations through sports betting, so you don't know. Like people probably had a lot of money on different things associated with Luka, so it's like. Yeah. When you mess up with a team, it's not just hurting the fan base, but it's also hurting some of them bettors. And so I know people probably crashing out because their money is gone.
Facts. Facts.
One last thing. How y'all feel about Jimmy Butler trade? And we can head out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, y'all know I had my comments on Jimmy Butler and him being willing to serve. And I think that the money that he got from was it 2 years, $120 million. I think that played a huge part into it. I think money talks at the end of the day. And I think that he showed in that first game that he can still hoop, you know what I'm saying, at a high level. If he wants to. And I think that goes back to my comment, though, being willing to serve. I mean, like, nigga, if you did it from jump shoot, we wouldn't have had that conversation. I wouldn't have went on my whole rant. But, I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I don't know. I don't think the Warriors, like, winning the finals because of the move. But, like, congrats, Jimmy. Thanks for doing what you should have did, bud.
Yeah, they trying to get in that playing spot right now. So
yeah,
we're gonna see. I mean, they're right there. So
yeah,
definitely he can help them get some wins. It's gonna be interesting to see if they can keep that up because they were losing that game to the Bulls. They came back and won, but yeah, we're gonna see if Jimmy could keep it up and play alongside Steph the rest of the season. We're gonna see how it goes.
Yeah. And the thing is, like. Every basketball fan knows Jimmy is capable of doing this. I mean, we saw this everywhere. The question is, does the end justify the means? So it's like if they don't win this year or make it far in this year, next year we don't know when he's gonna crash out. And it's like when he crashes out, are you willing to pay that price? Because now you got him for an expensive deal. And I mean, for most of the year, he might be just the Jimmy we saw before he got traded. So we know he has spurts, but it's like. I don't know if it's necessarily a good investment long term.
Agreed. Yeah, man. Well, Winning Shot family, man, as y'all see, man, we got a lot to talk about, and we're going to continue to bring y'all good, authentic content, man, day in and day out. We'll be here every Monday, bringing y'all great content, recording. As you see, the NFL is over, but we're going to talk about NBA. We're going to talk about college basketball, men's and women's. I think we got, like I said, March Madness upcoming. We got this All-Star break coming for the NBA, but then we pushing, man. We're pushing towards the end of that season. We got some more sports coming up as well, man. So, like I said, off-season's here, so we're going to have some off-season talk as well, man. We're just going to continue the conversation. It's a lot of sports, and so we always have something to talk about. That's the great thing. So y'all stay tapped in with us. If y'all, once again, hit us up, like, comment, subscribe. Please. And share it with your friend, your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your aunt, your uncle. Listen, even your pastor. He might want to hear some sports too. Listen, in the name of the Lord. So listen, stay locked in with us, man. We appreciate all the love. We appreciate all the support. We see the views. We see the subscriptions. We appreciate all of it. Continue to do it, and we'll continue to put out great content for y'all. We love y'all. We thank y'all. Peace.